Scientists and engineers made it up, okay? The decadal survey means what we were going to do in the next 10 years. And so in that portfolio, Europa was not right at the top. And there were good technical scientific reasons for that. We probably did not have the means for $1.5 billion with all the other cool things we're doing to land on Europa and make a thermal drill, which is depicted here the way you have at home, a nuclear powered melting thing that can go through 20 kilometers of ice like you have in your car. Yeah, so because that didn't seem to be financially possible, that was not included. But everybody understand, just to reiterate, there's new information. We can fly through these plumes for probably less than $2 billion all in, including the rocket. Oh, you'll hear people quote the price, doesn't include the rocket. Yeah, don't worry, yeah. If you want power steering, yeah. So we'll see what happens with the rocket. But we can go on a conventional Atlas V, and you'll hear people say vehicle like it's a car. Yeah, I got a launch vehicle. It's a rocket, okay? It's a big thing. You light one end, it's a big undertaking. And you have to point it the right way. That's really important. And so everybody, we really at the Planetary Society, we are growing for the first time in many years. We hope to have 100,000 members by the end of, let's say, certainly by 2020, but maybe by the end of 2017, because interest in planetary science is so high. So we're asking for $1.5 billion, follow the decadal survey, fund the mission to Europa. When we go to Mars, let's make sure we bring back samples. I mean, my father was a rock hound, Ellen. I mean, he had a rock hammer, he enjoyed it. But the geologists, you guys are obsessed with this thing. No, they want to bring back a sample of Mars because they argue quite reasonably that the instruments we have on Earth are so much more sophisticated than ones we can carry there. The cost of these missions is so low. It's a cup of coffee. It's a burrito without the guacamole for each taxpayer once. And we can go to these extraordinary things, and as Mr. Culberson said, if we found evidence of life on these other worlds, you would be part of it. You would be part of this extraordinary human adventure. It would change the way in the same way Galileo changed the world. Change the world in the same way Galileo changed the world. In the same way Copernicus changed the world. The same way Isaac Newton changed the world. It would give everybody a new perspective of our place in space. But there's a difference. There's a key difference. This discovery would not be made by a single one of us. It would be made by everybody. It would be made by all the taxpayers and voters in the US and the people around the world who will contribute to this mission or these missions. It will be a human endeavor. It will bring out the best in humankind. And when we make these discoveries, you all will be part of it, and we will change the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, well, we have time for questions. So if anyone had questions for any of our panel, raise your hand. Yes?
Okay, should I stand up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
hit the button still if you want to talk.
Europa is that at best it's 140 Kelvin, so towards the equator and stuff. So how can you possibly get liquid water, let alone chemosynthetic autotrophs, if the coldest temperatures they encounter here on Earth is like 0 Celsius, 270 Kelvin?
Sure.
So how can you possibly get that kind of heat? Is it like geological plates causing friction with the pole, or what generates that heat?
If you take a balloon and pull it back and forth many times, then touch it to your lips, you'll feel it gets warm. If you try to straighten out a paper clip, bend it back and forth, you'll feel it gets warm, because that mechanical work becomes heat. And so my understanding is the gravity of Jupiter and the orbit of, hey, we are busy here, and the motion of this moon around Jupiter exercises it, and the kinetic energy becomes heat energy. Plus, there's got to be evidence of radioactive material below, right?
So the tides of Europa are something like 30 meters if there's an ocean, and it's going around Jupiter every 85 hours. So this thing is doing this every 3.5 Earth days. That's generating a lot.
You got vast amounts of heat. And remember also, they discovered life. Bob Ballard, who discovered the Titanic, discovered those vast oases of life at the Galapagos mid-ocean volcanic vents on Earth. And that's proven to be true all over the Earth where you find these deep volcanic vents. There are these oases of life. And there's now even a debate, Bob, I've read, that life may have originated at the bottom of the ocean rather than at the top, because you've got so much heat, so much chemical and heat energy that life might have originated there and then worked its way to the surface.
And for you who are worried about the practical application of this, should you have lost all view of the joy of discovery and changing the course of human history, keep in mind that it's very reasonable that if we could understand a new type of living system, a new ecosystem on another world, especially from just in my limited understanding, especially on Mars, it would change medicine. It would change medical science forever. And so at the current number, now Dr. Grunsfeld, correct me, current number is 3.6, is that right? For every dollar I spend at NASA, I get $3.60 back. Is that right? Yeah. It was one of your predecessors who gave me that number. Sorry. Is that right? Dr. Bolden took off.